Hi, and welcome to On the Move with Nan and Kam. And we're joined today. Once you make your second official appearance, you're now referred to as a friend of the pod. We're joined by
She's
a
been
friend
here
of the
before.
pod, Natalie from Bike Walk RVA today. Welcome.
Thank you.
And she's here to tell us all the fun stuff that had happened. This is a Bike Month wrap up, and not even quite a wrap up because we have a few fun things that are still going on. So you still have time to jump on your bike and enjoy all the fun.
Yeah.
Natalie, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the history of Bike Month.
Thank you. Let's see. The history of Bike Month. Bike Walk RVA was started in 2012, and in that same year, this is a 12th Bike Month, which is crazy. 12 years of Bike Month in RVA. And basically, Bike Month is a national awareness month. It's a national awareness program, but this is the RVA chapter. So Bike Walk kind of is the organizing party around RVA's official Bike Month. And, Bike Walk RVA is an advocacy organization. We advocate for comfortable and connected places to bike and walk. And so the idea with Bike Month is to just galvanize the energy around biking in Richmond and to bring the community together, and then also to kind of just like show up and show out in the street and be seen as the strong biking culture that we are, and show people in the community, maybe outside the cycling community, that, we're here, we love to bike, we want more infrastructure. And then the fun aspect of Bike Month really brings people together.
I feel like at all bike events, like even if it's not Bike Month, I always see everybody show up in full force. Like I feel like it's a very tight knit community within like cyclists around Richmond, and so when it comes to Bike Month, everybody's like, heck yeah.
Well, one thing I really love, thank you. One thing I really love about Richmond's cycling community is that there are so many different flavors of bicyclists
There really
in
is.
Richmond. We've got families riding cargo bikes together.
It is
we
cute.
have like super fast crit racing road cyclist dudes and ladies. We have just commuter bicyclists. We've got like really grungy, like dirty, like more gravel core type cyclists. And then we have like a really strong like RABA Richmond Area Bicycle Association, just really strong like recreational club aspect. And then it's been really awesome to see some more diverse groups come together, like Urban Cycling Group and Carbon 6 Race Team, and then also Wolfpack Alpha, which kind of represent a more like diverse crowd than has typically been represented in the cycling community. So that's been awesome to see develop over the years.
Yeah. So obviously there's a different theme, like you were saying, to each Bike Month. Tell us about this year's theme and then why it's so important in the spirit of Bike Month.
Also, shout out to this year's theme, being the cutest design I've ever seen. If you can't see Natalie's t-shirt, go check it out on our website with the Bike Month calendar because it's adorable. Most talked about t-shirt in a while.
So the theme of this year's Bike Month, it is a nod to Shel Silverstein's book, Where the Sidewalk Ends. And, the theme this year is Where the Bike Lane Ends. And this really came to mind because in March of this year, we had a beloved school principal. Mr. Music was hit by a car pretty much where the Patterson Avenue bike lane ends. It wasn't exactly there. It wasn't exactly the reason why that accident happened. But the location of the crash really drew a lot of attention to an existing issue that we have with our built infrastructure, which is a lot of our bike lanes just end. And it really puts us in a challenging situation as cyclists, because then you kind of are forced to merge with traffic. And if it's not clearly indicated, it's confusing for drivers as well. So we wanted to draw attention to the fact that our bike lanes should not just end. We need them to transition in a safer way. But then also, because we have an amazing graphic designer in-house named Dion, he was able to not only take the idea of where the sidewalk ends and make a play on the Shel Silverstein artwork, but he actually made the bike lane in the artwork as the Mayo Bridge, which, as you guys know, that the Mayo Bridge is an aging bridge in the city. It needs to be replaced, and we're talking about hopefully getting the bridge replaced. We're feeling pretty confident with a bridge that does have bike lanes and sidewalks on it in a much safer design than the 100-year-old bridge that we have. So the play of where the bike lane ends was just our way of kind of bringing this conversation to the forefront and saying, like, we need infrastructure that's safe and we need infrastructure that's connected.
Very true. I will also say, because you were saying about like, even for drivers to like I get very nervous when I'm obviously more aware now that I've worked here because of what we do. But like there's like one specific one, if I get off on Forest Avenue or whatever, the one that's like the highway, and then you get right on and you literally have to cross a bike lane. And every time I'm like, oh my gosh, because you can't really come to a stop because you're getting off the highway, but there's a bike lane right in front of it. So I make sure that I'm
Hill and you're going westbound Forest Hill Avenue and you cross over the bike lane.
Yes, it scares me every time. Luckily, there has never been like a cyclist in the lane, but I'm always I'm like, I know I'm aware of it, but not everybody else is. Like I'm aware because I know.
So like cautious,
right?
Other drivers not.
Right. So that's
or they just don't understand that like literally they have to yield to cyclists. Yeah. Like it's like they're like, I'm a car, you watch out for me. Yeah, that's not how it works.
Or they're like, that person's on a bike, they're not gonna make it here that fast. And it's like, they probably are.
They're pretty quick. So what were some of the most well-attended events?
Okay, so I'm looking at the calendar here, which
May 28th.
We're not finished with the month, and this calendar is available on .com, so just a little shout out there. But okay, so some of the most well-attended events this month have been Urban Cycling Group's kickoff back in April. Actually, they kicked off the month with a huge just like blow up event out at Dory Park, which was awesome. We also had Bike to School Day, always an amazing attendance on that. And what we love about Bike to School Day is it's now regional, and so Hanover County schools are participating as well, and they have like hundreds of kids bike to school. And then obviously the city of Richmond has a great showing for that as well. Also, we had the Fall Line Urbanism Happy Hour, which was basically an opportunity for people to walk along the future route of the Hanover section of the Fall Line Trail, which opens next month. And then Better Housing Coalition did their East End tour and happy hour again, which is always a big hit. Pizza Crawl, this was their 15th year. It's like a well-oiled machine. Like they just have it so down pat. It's such a great experience. There's like raffles at every stop. Everyone's having a good time. Pizza's great. Also, Tour de Taco had a great showing as well. We love them. It's, I think, their second year. So super creative ideas this year. And we're stoked.
How many of them, I know you're the queen of Bike Month. How many of them did you attend personally?
Oh my goodness. I honestly haven't been keeping track. I haven't been able to make it to as many as I wanted to. I will be honest, but probably 12.
That's still a lot. Yeah. You're booked and busy because if I had to go to 12 events, you would never see me. Like I would be like, I do not have FOMO.
Do I count River Rock as that? As 2 days River Rock as well. And so it's been a really busy couple months for us over here at Sports Backers and Bike Walk.
What did you do, pizza or taco?
I was on the pizza crawl.
What was your favorite pizza place?
So Zorch. We got the pizza that has like the what's it? It's like the vodka sauce.
Oh yeah,
with basil leaves on it. It was slap.
Yeah, that's big. That's become a new household fave. Zorch for us. Slices are humongous.
Yeah,
and so I think that's like it lasts us a while.
Well, what's interesting is on the pizza crawl. This is so funny with the mics. What's interesting about the pizza crawl is like there's so many of us. There was like 140 people. So they get like all these pizzas, and the pizza places cut the slices into these like kind of like sliver slices.
Kind of nice, actually.
Yeah. You don't want to get too
it's full. 4 different pizzas. So like, can you imagine eating 4 slices of pizza on a bike ride? It might be a little much.
Especially if it's like a Zorch slice pizza.
Right.
I'm eating like one of those things.
And then I'm also like, eating like gummy bears and stuff on the ride too.
Yeah, exactly. You need dessert.
Right.
All that together. Balanced meal.
After every slice. Right. Sweet.
So tell us, obviously, again, fan favorite, tell us about how new events would get created and like how is the calendar put together each year?
That's a great question. And so before we go into how the calendar is created, I do want to take a minute to shout out a couple of new events that were on the calendar this year. One of them being Henrico County organized something called Henbico. Safety Day. I know, right? That little play on words. So Hinbaiko Safety Day. It rained that day, so we had to move inside the library. But really, this is like the preview to a bike festival that Henrico County is going to host in September of this year at Crump. So that's super exciting.
Will that be new, like a first?
Yes, that will be the first Hinbaiko festival at Crump Park. And it's, open to the public. Yeah. There's going to be some like kid activities as well. So that will be awesome.
Crump Park is like a top place to host something with kid activities too. I feel like that place is always, it's really close to Ashley's house. Shout out.
Next time we go to Ashley.
They do have a really awesome playground. Oh, and the petting zoo. Don't
they have a petting zoo?
They have like animals up in the back, like livestock up in the back.
Did not know
cows
that.
And sheep.
I'm a bike over, pet some cows.
And then another really awesome new event that actually hasn't taken place yet, that's on the calendar, is the Ride with GPS Cuddy Cap Scavenger Hunt. So this is organized by Mountain Cat 100, which is a kind of like grassroots mountain bike race that happens in June, but they're doing this scavenger hunt. And so basically you can ride around town and find super cool stuff.
Oh, I do love a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, like super cool hats, like exclusive Mountain Cat stuff.
You and Tyler.
Yeah.
Get on those bikes.
I'm telling him, get that bike out of the shed, my man. Pump up those tires.
So you asked the question about how does the calendar get made. So basically in April of each year, and this is kind of like preview to y'all who are listening, like just heads up, April of next year, set your calendar. We always have a bike month planning party. And before that, I kind of put out the call to people who have maybe made events before or been interested or been involved, and let them know like, hey, come up with your event and then come to the planning party where we build the calendar together. So basically we have a party here at Sportsbacker's office. Are we calling it headquarters? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess.
We call it Active Living Hub.
The Active Living Hub. Mm-hmm. So we have a party at the Active Living Hub, and we build the calendar together. Yeah. And basically just write down all the details of the events. Once that happens, I look for conflicts, right? So some people have great ideas, but I don't want them to compete with each other. So I make some suggestions here and there. And then after that happens, we get it all into a spreadsheet, get people to actually get their like start time and location set, so we can get the calendar printed. And then at that point, we ask, Dion, our graphic designer, to come up with the artwork based on the theme. And so that's how we get these calendars.
Which he provides and slays every time.
Right, he does slay every time. Yeah.
Definitely the cutest. What were some highlights? We went over this a little bit, but what were some highlights from this year? And I know that the month is not over, so we could have some more upcoming highlights.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The month is not over. We've had a couple of rainy weeks. So just before, I go backward in time, I'd like to note that next week, which is the first week of June into maybe the second week of June, we have some events that have been rescheduled for rain. So there's still like a full week and a half to get involved. We've got June 4th, which is Wednesday. We're going to have pizza and beer on the Capitol Trail ride, which is social ride out of Triple Crossing Fulton. June 5th, the Northside Bike Lanes and Brews ride has been rescheduled for rain. So that will be awesome. They're going to meet up at the Ginter Park Library after work. And then probably one of the most popular rides that is organized by super energetic people out of the Forest Hill neighborhood, the Southside Streetcar Ride. That was supposed to be last night or tonight, but it's been rained out. So we've rescheduled to June 9th. So it's still time to take part in that ride, which is probably one of the coolest, most well-attended repeat events. But highlights from this year, I mean, I would say that one of my highlights was seeing how many of these events started even before May 1st. Like we had so much energy the week leading up to Bike Month that so many events were getting put on the calendar. We had a couple of cleanup days that had really good turnout as well. So that was exciting to see people just rolling up their sleeves and volunteering. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have as well like the ribbon cutting for the first section of the Fall Line Trail. That was originally scheduled for May, but it's now next month. So kind of like riding the energy. But I think that will be a big highlight for this year as well, to get to celebrate the first section of the Fall Line to open.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Do you know if there's any way, so like for example, I'm on our president's council here, and I know one of the events that was supposed to happen that got rained out, I think yesterday, we were supposed to attend like as a president's council. Is there a way to RSVP for some of these events, or is it just like come if you want to come, or like how does that work?
So if you go on rvabikemonth.com, you'll see if you scroll down to the date and then the title of the event, most of the events have a Facebook event or an Eventbrite, and they're linked. So you can click on the link, and that's where you would be able to RSVP. And also keep up with, God forbid it rains again. But like if we had to reschedule a second time, I know, right? No more rain, please. If we had to reschedule a second time, you could keep track of that as well. But yeah, the RVABikemonth.com, scroll down, find your event, and then there should be most of the events have an event page themselves, and you can find the link there.
Great. I think we asked Brantley this question before, so we're going to ask you if you could dream of your perfect, ideal, favoritist bike month ever event, what would it be?
Okay, so I don't know if this would be the most exciting event ever, but here is one. Here's one that's been kind of like floating around recently that we think would be pretty cool, is like a bike relay in the bike lanes. So basically connecting a few of the bike lanes and doing like a 24-hour relay in the lanes. Wow. So like you could have like a team and like maybe to see like who would get the most laps, like which team would get the most laps that circuit. And it would be basically connected bike lanes. So it would be like all night long, like which team's going to get the most laps.
Yeah, they're crazy.
It could be pretty fun though.
I think it could definitely be fun. I feel like people would definitely get into that.
Yeah. And it would take a little bit of like organization, but just with like sports backers and our whole like cheering zone culture that we have built around some of these run races, like it could be hilarious to see like the grannies, the jam and grannies, like if they could come out and like be on a corner, or some of these other groups to like just build the stoke, or just the giggles.
Build the stoke. I see that. Yeah. Close to a little pond.
And then, we could have some, I don't know, exciting music playing on a corner or something. Yeah. Anyway, that's definitely something we've been, I don't know, just milling about. I think it would be pretty fun.
Is it your idea?
I won't take credit for it.
Okay. Okay.
This was your chance. Yeah, this was your chance to take the credit. This might be the hardest part of the podcast now. We've got your this or that.
Oh, okay.
You can keep it. Yeah, I kind
of like this part.
Okay, good. I have two. Do you want me to start then, since I've thought two? Okay. First one, you can only pick one bike accessory. Do you want a basket or a bell?
Bell.
Okay. Just let the people know you're coming.
But I also love to like greet people with my bell. Like I like always ding my bell. And whenever I see kids on their bikes too, I always ding the bell. And like 90% of the time they ding back at me.
That's adorable.
And it's like a little greeting.
I like the bells that look like cheeseburgers.
I've
seen those. Those are adorable. I'm also now like, I'm a real clown. Maybe I could get instead of a bell.
I think I'd want a horn.
Okay. Like an air horn? Whoa. Here comes Cameron.
No, literally, yeah. But I think that's adorable. If you're like, hey, friend.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
So if y'all see me out there and I'm ringing my bell at you, I'm just saying hi.
Love that.
Okay. Next, this or that. This has nothing to do with nothing. I just went to Bruce's the other day. Ice cream topping. Would you prefer sprinkles, whipped cream? You can't choose both. It has to be one.
Sprinkles.
Oh my gosh!
I know they're not even that yummy. Maybe it's
I'm
a
going
texture
sprinkles
thing.
Too.
I like the crunchiness of them or something.
Whipped cream is sort of unappealing to me. Like I'll eat,
and
I am a whole container of Cool Whip.
Cameron
no
whipped
problem.
Linear. Like that's
Cameron
me.
whipped cream linear.
That's me.
Something about it on the ice cream. The two differentiating textures bothers me.
I know, that the crunch of the sprinkles, right? It's like a good counterpart to the ice cream.
Yeah. My mom loves sprinkles. That's why she gets sprinkles every single time she gets ice cream. And I'm always just like, ugh. Or like rainbow sprinkles. Ugh.
Yeah, if they're available and it's like an ice cream bar, I might be putting them on, but I'm not like paying extra for them somewhere.
Okay.
Also, Cameron and I were really making fun of John's peanuts that he had us out as an ice cream topping last week when we
That
had
was pretty
Sundays.
random, yeah.
Yeah, except then I had to bite my tongue because I was like, why is this low-key the most delicious topping I've ever had? Because it was so salty.
Yeah,
the salty with the sweet, and I do love a crunch.
Yeah.
But I don't like a chocolate chunk in an ice cream because you don't taste the chocolate. You just like, I mean, I like a chocolate chunk in ice cream, but you just feel the crunch.
I
So
feel
was
like I've
it's
seen
salty,
crushed
but it
peanuts before. It was just that it was like a bag of just like whole roasted snacking peanuts. That was like a little random, but they were good.
I love it. I'm converted. I also like, this is a real grandma topping, but I've always loved a wet nut on ice cream. Like that's a grandma. I actually think I learned it from my grandma. But no, I was like, these are delicious. So peanuts forever now. I'm with you, John. Okay, my last one was also candy related, but you mentioned gummy bears. So that made me think that you like a little snack sometimes on the bike. Do we prefer, and that you might be a fruity candy lover, do you like gummy bears or Nerds gummy clusters better?
Ooh, Nerds gummy clusters.
Correct answer.
I gotta add even a little more to that though. Like my all-time favorite gummy candy is peach rings. Like
that's a good one.
Solid choice.
Slap.
Yeah.
Especially like in the middle of summer when it's so hot, and a peach ring is like, this is summer right here.
Yeah.
It's almost like eating a peach. Yeah.
Oh, what a combo. That's so good. Yeah, no, the gummy clusters took our office by storm last year, and it was like a drug. It was like a epidemic. Like
it was a pandemic epidemic.
Like gummy clusters.
We're all sick.
My fault. And it was kind of my fault, but then it kind of wasn't, because I was hooked to them a while ago, and then I finally got off of them. And then when I brought them to the office one day, I was telling everybody around me, I said, don't try these. And they were like, why not? And then everybody wanted to try it. And then everybody was like, I can't stop eating them. So I tried to tell you guys.
And then there's like the two different colors.
Yeah. There's like holiday ones. Yeah. Also, I think I loved Nerds as a kid, but Nerds are not a candy that translate well into adulthood, because you're never like, let me snap open this cardboard box and take it to the face. It's a weird candy. So I feel like they saved themselves. They did. Shout out Nerds.
Yeah. Sponsor us, please.
Yeah. Please. We're sick. And the only cure is gummy clusters. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Next time you're going to be like double friend of the pod. But I was going to say, just remind people before we go where they can find all information about Bike Month before it's over.
Yeah, totally. So RVABikeMonth.com, it is the webpage where you can find all the information. Most of the events have their own event page. Some of them are linked to their Instagram account. So if you maybe missed a ride, but you would be interested in what they have coming up later this year, go ahead and follow them on Instagram. There are some of our event leaders that do events like every month or every couple weeks. So an opportunity to still jump in on the social stuff. Remember, we still have a week and a half of events left, and we do this every year. And then of course, really every month is Bike Month.
It is.
So
the fun doesn't have to stop.
There's tons of opportunities to get involved in social bike rides. The season is really just starting. That's what I would say. Like, check out RVABikeMonth.com, follow through some of the links, and follow some of those event leaders and sign up to get their updates, and they'll keep hosting more events.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it. And get on those events and make sure that you get to enjoy RVA Bike Month and just enjoy some summertime bike fun, because it doesn't have to stop in June.
That is true.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
See you next time. Bye.